Hello everyone, my name is Moji. You're watching a Bitcoin Bubble News channel. This is the most important thing for people to know about Bitcoin. It is volatile. It's not a bug. The day's most important story. This is very important news. All of Morgan Stanley's clients can now buy Bitcoin ETFs from its more than 15,000 wealth advisors across the US. But Morgan Stanley has millions of people all over the country. Morgan Stanley is in charge of $1.5 trillion worth of investments. They can now get in touch with those clients and ask if they'd like to add Bitcoin to their assets. This company manages $1.5 trillion worth of assets. A lot of this money is liquid, which means that it only takes a few clicks to turn this liquid capital into Bitcoin once the client is interested. The ETFs that Morgan Stanley offers right now are from BlackRock and Fidelity. You need to understand how important this really is. Here, Wall Street trade experts Andrew Parrish and Fred Krueger explain why it's such a big deal that Morgan Stanley is now accepting Bitcoin. Let's start by looking at how things were before this change. It makes a big difference that you can now buy these goods on Morgan Stanley's platform instead of not. To give you some background, these have been out for a while. But they've been locked away at the very top of the PWM private wealth management version for people with very high net worth. What kind of product is that? Is it worth more than $100 million? No, you need $25 million to be in that space. 2 to 5% of all of Morgan Stanley's clients live in that area. It's not a big number. Let's look at what's going on now that this has happened. For the most part, it will be open to everyone once you make it available to the whole site. More importantly, it will be available to planners who ask for it so they can talk to clients about how these products are doing and encourage them to add them to their portfolio. In the past, not only were the goods kept separate, but also customers with very high net worth had to tell their advisor, "I want this in my portfolio now that those limits and problems are gone." These two bought Bitcoin ETFs from BlackRock and Fidelity can be used by wealth managers who handle more than $2 trillion. You're probably talking about an amount of money worth a few $100 billion. Now we're talking about 2 trillion people who can get it. Finally. What does this mean for the future? What will happen next? This answer is great. It's important because we're going to go from this being accepted on Morgan Stanley to this. Then Wells Fargo, then UBS, then smaller banks like Stifel, Nicholas, and Robert W. Baird, then LPL, then Hightower, then Rockefeller. All of these businesses have hundreds of billions of dollars, if not trillions of dollars. For example, Wells Fargo and UBS both handle trillions of dollars worth of assets. In other words, it's the same as making $10 trillion available again. This isn't 10 trillion worth of business property, right? With just a click of the mouse, this much money can be changed from a stock or sweep account to a Bitcoin ETF. From now until 6 months from now, all of those sites will be open to everyone. This is very important. Also, BlackRock is now what? Tripling down on their plan for Ethereum? BlackRock is going to file a formal application with the SEC for Ethereum ETF options. You already know that Larry Fink is a huge fan of Ethereum. I think having an Ethereum ETF is a good idea. I already said that these are just steps toward tokenization. I'm sure this is where we're going to end up. Today we have the tools to tokenize. He's been talking about it for a long time. Because I see it, tokenization of securities will be the next big thing in markets and stocks. And if we can get that global ledger, we'll know who the real owner and seller are and have a code that lets us know who is buying and selling right away. This is the news today. An important development is that BlackRock, one of the biggest asset managers and ETF issuers in the world, has worked with Nasdaq to add options to its newly approved Ethereum ETF. This letter to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) explains BlackRock's plan to change choices for Section 3 so that trading in options on the iShares Ethereum ETF trust is possible. The exchange thinks that letting traders use options on the trust will increase competition by giving investors another relatively cheap way to protect their portfolios and meet their investment needs in relation to spot Ether prices and products and positions related to Ether. And it's easy to see why BlackRock and Wall Street as a whole want to do more with crypto, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. In this case, we'll look at Ethereum through the eyes of TradFi. This is what Wall Street thinks. Without a doubt, Ethereum is the second most valuable coin. Ethereum is a more reactive currency than Bitcoin, but it also has good liquidity. Ethereum is able to keep the biggest network safe. Ethereum has been used in battle for 10 years. When it comes to big changes like the merge, Ethereum has a perfect track record. Deflationary tokenomics and built-in AP make Ethereum a great choice. Also, even though the market has been unstable, people who have recently staked Ethereum have stayed strong, and the number of people staked is still at an all-time high of 33 million. Ethereum's price is likely to go up in the short to long term. Even though these altcoins have very small market caps, this news is very important for both of them. The Grayscale Bittenser Trust and the Grayscale Sui Trust are two new crypto financial products that Grayscale is putting out. This means that both of these trusts put money into the native token of each system. The Grayscale Bittenser Trust puts money into Bittenser's own Tau coin. The Grayscale Sui Trust only cares about the Sui token from the Sui protocol. We are excited to add Bittenser and Sui to our product suite, says Grayscale's head of product and research. We believe Bittenser is at the center of the growth of decentralized AI, while Sui is redefining the smart contract blockchain with the release of Grayscale's Bittenser Trust and Grayscale Sui Trust. We continue to offer investors the same trusted goods that give them access to tokens at the cutting edge of how crypto ecosystems are changing. We made this movie that you should watch if you want to learn more about Sui. Another thing is that Donald Trump Jr. just tweeted about crypto, saying that something huge is about to shake up the crypto world. He is referring to DeFi, which stands for decentralized finance. I wonder what it is. It's getting close to an all-time high for Bitcoin addresses with more than 0.1 Bitcoin in them. There are strong hands buying. More was bought by Michael Saylor. To begin, I have a question. In the past few days, you did see Bitcoin briefly drop below the $50,000 mark. As I understand it, MicroStrategy bought an extra 169 Bitcoin in July for just over $11 million. But when that number drops below 50,000, do you jump in right away? And if so, how much? As a long-term plan, we're always buying Bitcoin the first of every quarter. People should know that Bitcoin is volatile, but the most important thing is that it is a benefit. It's not a bug. In the short run, the volatility makes tens of billions of dollars available to everyone in the world whenever they need it. But in the long run, that instability is what makes assets perform better and last longer. That's why it's volatile. It works. Every other market is shut down because of the way the asset works and the way it is handled politically. We see Bitcoin as New York City online. In the best city in North America, there's never a bad time to buy up scarce, valuable real estate. Buying Bitcoin is always a good idea, so we'll just buy it whenever we have the money, whenever we can get money from the